Hello, my name is Angelika. Today I'm going to be talking about what is osteopathy and the other services I provide. So here at the Osteopathy and Healing Center, we provide osteopathy. Osteopathy is basically a whole body adjustment. So when you come in to see me, I'll look at your body, I'll look at your posture, and I'll see if I find any imbalances. So I'll give you an example. For example, if the vertebrae are out of position, that would be called an imbalance or a dysfunction. And there's many ways of treating the spine. One way is the person could be seated and I move you through different positions to adjust the vertebrae. So this is what we do in osteopathy. We look at your whole posture from your feet up to the head, and we look for any imbalances, and any imbalances we find, we use various techniques to be able to treat that area. Now, one of the principles in osteopathy is that the whole body is a dynamic unit of function. So what this means is, if you came in with back pain, I'm not just going to look at the area that you're saying you have pain in, your back, but I'm also going to look at what's happening above that, so the rest of your spine, and how that's affecting the cranium even, and I'm going to look below that, and I'm going to see how the feet, your support, is affecting your lower back. So once we have a general idea of what your body's doing, we can then make up a treatment plan. Using different techniques over a period of time, I can see you for treatments. So the pain or the sensation that you feel can lessen, decrease, or go away. In osteopathy, many people could be treated. There's a wide range of population. So I've seen infants, I've seen elderly, I've seen in-between people. So I'll give you an example. I've seen infants who had a problem being able to latch onto the nipple, and they were having problems breastfeeding. So after releasing the cranium, the base of the cranium, they were able to then latch onto the breast and breastfeed. I'll give you another example. Babies who suffer from colic. I've seen babies who suffer from colic, and basically you work on the organs. So again, because the body is a dynamic unit of function, we don't only look at the spine, like the example I gave you with the back pain, but I also look at organs. So in this case, the baby suffering from colic, so I would look at the intestines. I've seen toddlers, I've seen teenagers, and different things can happen as the infant and then toddler learns to walk, run, play sports, accident, traumas that can happen throughout life. So I've, for example, seen people who've had car accidents, for example, whiplash. So what I'll do is I'll look at their neck, I'll look at their cranium, and I'll look at what's going on below. So I love to treat kids, and I also love to treat women who are pregnant. So when a woman comes in and she tells me, I want to get pregnant, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the whole entire body, see what I need to balance, especially the pelvis. So the hips, the sacrum, the lower back, the ribs, make sure that that's all balanced. During the term, I've treated women who have sciatica, so then I can treat the spine, I can treat the nerve, look at the muscles that are being affected. I've seen pregnant women who have the baby in breech position and they're kicking against the ribs, so I will release the ribs, and then that will help them with the pain relief. And then also I see the pregnant woman after, when they deliver, they'll come in, make sure that everything's structurally sound, that it's adjusted and it's balanced. A couple of weeks after delivery, I'll see the little infant and I'll check if there's anything wrong with, for example, the cranium, because when they're born, they can have a traumatic birth. I've treated infants who have the umbilical cord around their neck. So many different things can occur during the pregnancy and after the pregnancy, and an osteopath is able to look at both populations, both the infant and the pregnant mom. So that's a little bit about osteopathy. A very important principle in osteopathy as well is that the body can heal. So it has its self-regulating, self-healing ability. Yes, I will treat the mother, yes, I'll treat the infant, a person who's been in a car accident, who has pain, but when they go home and when I'm giving them a treatment, it's their body that heals. And another principle in osteopathy I want to mention before I go on is that structure and function are interrelated. So what that means is, yes, I'll treat the person who has the low back pain, and as I'm treating the structure, I'm also affecting the function or the physiology. I'll give you an example. You adjust a structure that's imbalanced, it doesn't have proper nourishment, it doesn't have proper blood flow going into the area, and then it doesn't have the proper removal of toxins leaving the area. So when you adjust a structure like that vertebrae in osteopathy, it's going to allow fresh blood to come in, oxygenate and make the body heal on its own. The body has its own pharmacopoeia or nutrients and chemicals in order to heal. So that's an example of how structure and function are interrelated. That's a little bit about osteopathy. And same thing with Pilates. I do Pilates because it's a whole body routine, exercise routine that can help strengthen and lengthen the body. That's a little bit about kinesiology and Pilates. We talked about osteopathy, and now I'm going to talk a little bit about Reiki. So Reiki is different than kinesiology than Pilates. It's more about energy. I could either put my hands onto the body, or I can have my hands above the body. And it's basically releasing all the energy centers within the body, so the chakra centers within the body then can heal. That's about Reiki. And one last thing I wanted to talk about was orthotics. If I see the patient and I do my postural examination, I see their feet, I see if they have flat arches, for example, or other things going on with their feet, and then I know, okay, I'd recommend orthotics for you, because I've seen in the long run that the body stays stable for a longer period of time. So that's a little bit about osteopathy, kinesiology, Pilates, Reiki, and orthotics. So these are the services I provide. I do want to mention a little bit about myself as well, why I chose to get into osteopathy. Ever since I was younger, I worked in a healthcare setting, so I worked at my mom's clinic, and I did things such as assisting physiotherapists, teaching patients exercises, assisting chiropractors, putting on machines. So some of you might have heard of the ultrasound or TENS machine. So these kind of things I did with patients when I was younger, including reception work. So I knew that when I grew up, I wanted to do something in the healthcare field, and that is to help people. So I decided to do osteopathy. I fell in love with the principles of osteopathy, and that's what I did. I graduated in 2011. I studied my kinesiology degree concurrently with my osteopathy degree. After I graduated, I started working in different clinics. I worked in Toronto, I worked in Brampton, I worked in Etobicoke, and now here I am working in Mississauga. So this is my location. So basically I've worked in different settings with different populations in different areas, applying osteopathy, kinesiology, and some of the other stuff that I've learned over the years. And in the future, I plan to do meditations as well here and group Pilates classes. So thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.